as an employer, every employee that you have is entitled to take paid holidays under the Organisation of Work and Time Act. So that law covers apprentices, those employed through an employment agency, full-time staff, part-time staff, fixed-term staff. I suppose everybody would be entitled to, the statutory requirement would be prorated based on the hours they work, but people who are on apprenticeships, general employees as well, everybody is entitled to
annual leave. Everyone in a business. Brilliant.
Exactly, yeah.
Next slide. Do all employees have the same amount of holiday entitlement in Ireland?
No, so there is
that a little bit there. Yeah.
Exactly, you're exactly right, Rob. So I suppose it really does depend on the employee and I suppose their contract and their agreement with their employer. Obviously, in terms of statutory annual leave, I suppose we'll just look at it from that perspective. Some employers might have a holiday entitlement that they provide to their staff that might be above the statutory entitlement, but I suppose in terms of the statutory minimum level that all employees are entitled to, it usually is calculated based on the amount of hours an employee works in a year. So if an employee is working full-time, generally it's about 4 of their working weeks per year, and then if the staff member is working part-time, it'd be prorated. It's usually about 8%. There is calculations for that we would help you do, but it's generally about 8%.
Brilliant. And based on what's in their documentation, what they have in place, what policies and work. So, yeah.
Exactly. You're absolutely right, Rob. Like when we're drafting the documents with the client and with the employer, like some will provide over the statutory entitlement, and I suppose it's just important to remember as well that if you are providing above the statutory entitlement, that once it's prorated to part-time employees, that it's prorated based on what your full-time staff would be getting, that your full-time staff are getting a holiday entitlement that is slightly better than maybe your part-time staff or so on. So it's definitely one to watch.
Perfect. How do you calculate annual leave? I know we went through that quite a bit there already with the 8% in the 4 working weeks. Like, was there any special implications, or is there any?
Yeah, so I suppose there is specialist kind of calculations that we would help a client do when we're kind of looking at their documentation and looking at their policies. So an employee who works kind of at least, I think it's 1,365 hours in a year, receives the full entitlement of 4 working weeks of annual leave. An employee who works 117 hours in a month receives 1/3 of their working week. So there is different ways of doing it, but generally we'd reach out to clients and kind of discuss that with them kind of on a case by case basis.